Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Learn with Animesh. You are watching Learn Playwright with TypeScript series. In the last lecture, we learned about API testing using Playwright. In this lecture, we'll learn about object-oriented programming and page object model. You may be hearing about the term OOP, which is OOPS concept. So that stands for object oriented programming. So what is an object oriented programming? So object oriented programming is a programming paradigm combine two units like the attributes and the behavior of functionality into a same unit. We call it a class. So what is a class? So a class is a blueprint or template for defining a structure. So inside a class, there can be attributes and there can be behaviors. So I'm on my VS Code. So you can take an analogy of a car. Let's say car is a class. The car can have different attributes like color and model, and car can have different behavior like we can drive a car. We can start a car, we can stop a car. Drive and stop here is what the behavior of that particular class. If we want to define an object from this, so we can say in line 22, you can see we create a const BMW. So BMW is an object of the car. So we can create Audi with this new keyword. So new keyword is used in JavaScript or TypeScript for creating instance or object of a class. So we use this new keyword and then we use the car and then we provide the model number as 2021 as a second parameter. This class contains a constructor. Constructor means you can initialize value of those color and model inside this constructor. So when you are creating an object using the new keyword at runtime, you are defining this value of model and the color here. The next topic what we will be discussing here is inheritance. So inheritance is one of the core OOPS concept where we use classes and we define a parent and child relationship between those classes, and they're called inheritance. So imagine you have a class called animal, and this animal have attributes like animal can eat, animal can sleep. So this could be a parent class, and you can create child classes from those parent class. Let's say one is dog class and one is cat class. So what this inheritance will do is, if you created the child classes of a parent class, you do not need to define all those common methods like eat and sleep in the child classes. So the main advantage of using inheritance is you are reducing the code duplication. But let's say you need a new method in the dog class, which is a bark method. So you define the bark method in the child class and you just define a new method in the cat class. So this reduces the code duplication. That's the advantage of using inheritance. Increases the coupling between those two classes. So those parent and child class are actually tightly coupled. Do inheritance in JavaScript or TypeScript. What we do here is, let's say I have a person class I have created. It has a different attributes called name and age, and it has behavior or methods like get name, get age. So what we do is we use, let's say we create a class of employee, then we extend that to person. That means employee is a child class. Sometimes the child class is also called a subclass or also a derived class. So we define the parent class as the or super class or base class as well. The next topic is one of the important OOPS concept, which is encapsulation. Why do we need encapsulation? So encapsulation is needed essentially expose the interfaces which we need to expose it. Sometimes we create lot of behavior and attribute. In encapsulation, there are different access modifier we use. One of the access modifier is a public, another is called protected, and another is called private. So in public, nothing is restricted. So you can imagine the circle as a parent class, and we have two child classes, child 1 and child 2 we have defined. So whatever methods we'll be writing in the parent class, we can use those inside all the child classes, and apart from that we can use also those methods outside of those child classes as well in in all other classes for any kind of public access modifier. But in case of protected access modifier, what protected gives us is some kind of access restriction. Imagine some of the method or attribute I have marked as protected in the parent class, so I can use them in the child classes which inherits from it. Child class 1 and child class 2 can use those protected members from parent class in their classes, but if I want to use those protected member from the parent class in some other classes, then I'll not be able to use them. So that's what a protected access modifier is. For private is a lot stricter. So in case you define some access modifier or some kind of behavior in the parent class, so if they are marked as a private, then you cannot use them even in the child classes, or neither you can use them in other classes as well. So this is the encapsulation concept. So there are concepts like abstraction and composition in object oriented programming, but for this lecture we'll be focusing more in inheritance and encapsulation concept. So page object model, if you have not heard about the term, is one of the popular design pattern we follow in most of the UI based framework. So page object model is nothing but we create separate page classes for different pages, and this will actually help to modularize your code. So there are a few advantages of using page object model because it improves your readability. So when you read those page object model classes, so each page, let's say you have a home page, login page, logout page, or some orders page, so you create separate page classes, so it improves your readability, and the maintainability is also increased with page object model. So let's say some of the page have some change in their functionality, so you only update that page class, and if new page added to your application, you just added a new class. So with this page object model, it is really easy to scale your framework. You just need to add your page classes, and you do not need to bother about other things. And the reusability, as we will be using the common page flows and actions in different tests, so the reusability also increase. And we obviously use encapsulation in our page object model, so that we only expose things which are needed, and most of the locators and actions we will be encapsulated and it will be hidden. Let's understand page object model with a diagram. On your screen you can see on the left side is page object where, so let's imagine you are automating a web application which have multi page like home page, login page, order page, and there are headers and footers menu. So all of those you will create a separate files. You will create separate classes, and inside those classes what we will be writing is locators as the attributes, and actions we will be writing. So let's say a home page have a locator called home button, so we identify the locator and then we write as an attribute. And also let's say clicking on the home button or doing a scroll up or scroll down could be an action which we will be writing inside the home page class. Similarly, we will be doing the same thing in the login page, orders page, and there could be a base class which has all the shared page context. So in Playwright you use page as a context, so we can use a protected member of page which will be shared across all the pages. So that's where the inheritance will come into picture. And on the middle you see we will be writing test in the spec files. Let's say as in Playwright we use home spec.ts, login spec.ts, and what we will be doing here is we will be calling those page objects of the home page, and we will be writing the particular test related to home page on that particular test. And there optionally can be, we can create a base test, and the concept of base test is, let's say before all the tests you are running, you have to open up a browser, you have to connect to your database, or you have to connect to something where you will create data or access data. So all those common things which you need before the test for a setup, or you need to do some cleanup after the test, so you can use them in the base test, and all other tests will inherit that. And apart from that, in the rightmost column we may have some utility folders like creating logs, capturing screenshot, or reading or writing Excel files. So those things we'll be writing in the framework as well in some of the locations. So this is what a high level page object model framework works with all the page objects and the tests. So depending on your application, you may use different architecture, but the core concept of page objects will be same for most. But if you are creating page objects, you have to be aware of over designing it. So if you are creating page object, and you have to be very careful when you are creating page object, and sometimes it may happen that if the page objects are not correctly designed, then it can have really high maintenance, and you probably have a degraded performance, as we will be using inheritance. And I mentioned that inheritance introduce tight coupling, so you have to have a proper inheritance structure. You should not use multi-level or multiple inheritance, and there can be a performance degraded also happen if you do not use proper cleanup in the setup and tear down. And in the next lecture, we will be creating and will be writing code time for a knowledge check. If you are following along the lecture, you should be able to answer the questions on the screen. Provide your answers in the comment section, and I will reply if your answers are correct or not. Thanks guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you like the video. In this video, we only explain the concepts of object-oriented programming and page object model, but believe me, if you understand those concepts, it will be a lot easier to follow me on the next lecture, where we will be actually writing code to create page object model, which I showed you in the design. So stay tuned, I'll be soon coming with the page object model framework with Playwright in my next video. See you on my next video.